Hi, my name is Casey Truby, and I'd like to invite you over to lunch, a sponsored lunch by three local CPAs, Gabriel Luma, Richard Robinson, David Osa. But I'm going to tell you why they are paying for lunch, because they want you to hire me. I want to go to work for you, and I want you to pay me $97 a week. But I got to tell you something. I'll bring you the world's greatest business building service you ever imagined. This is not advertising. I'm going to tell you exactly what's up in this short video, but every business that's installed this and used it have seen their business over the next couple of years jump past $1 million, some up to $5 million. Let me give you just one quick example of where we're going with this. I get a call from a woman in the upper Midwest, and she's been a pharmaceutical rep for the last 20 years, making $200,000 a year. She calls me and says, I need a job. And well, ma'am, tell me what's going on. She goes, well, my boss told me one more DUI and I'm fired. And the highway patrol agreed with my boss, and they took my license too. So 9 months in the AA, and I'm sitting here at home. I need to go back to work. I'll work for you for $10 an hour. And I'm thinking, here's a smart woman, college educated, used to talking to doctors, used to making big bucks, and she just called me and wants to go to work for $10 an hour. Now keep her in mind. Keep that woman in mind, because now we're going to talk about how to build your sales in your Tucson business. Now we know the economy has just been awful over here for the last couple of years, and we know that as business owners we get bogged down. We hate details. There's 100 little things we're dealing with every day, but there are three big problems that really keep us from building our business. As a matter of fact, most of us spend 80% of our time on things that don't really count when it comes to driving sales. And what we're going to do is figure out how to get you on what counts, what's really important. So my big thing on lunch is I'm going to show you how to solve three number one problems. How to get a lockdown sales lead system in place, and no matter which one it is, how to put it in place so that you can turn the dial up and you get 20 leads this week, throttle it back and get 10. The second thing is, how do we get the back office bottleneck solved? Get rid of all the paper in our business. You know, everything that happens in business generates paper, but if we could get rid of the paper and organize the workflow in a business, it would free everybody's time up. I mean, 25% of our day, 2 hours a day on average, for everybody that works for you. And we don't have processes on how to run the business. You remember, like Michael Gerber talked about in the book, The E-Myth. You've probably read that. And the biggest problem with not having written processes is when we have to let somebody go because they're not doing the job. Everything we taught them is left behind. It goes out the door. So my wife came to me with these problems, and she goes, tell me what's possible, Mr. Smart Guy. You know a lot about this. You know, I've written several major software programs and sold them. I've written several books on business, on increasing sales or improving cash flow or running a business with better employees. Matter of fact, between 97 and 2005, we owned the largest QuickBooks training company in the world. And I've done lots and lots of seminars in the 21 businesses that I've owned over my lifetime, started, built up, and sold. But my real passion is, how do we bring a solution to a small business so that they can increase sales and have more cash flow? And that's why I invented this software called Delegation Magic. It's a service, really, and this is what you would get if you hire me. But you got to keep listening, because this is exciting. Right now, there are millions of people who want to work for you, part-time contractors, low price, from home. Let's go back to Carrie. I gave her a job. I said, Carrie, I'll pay you $10 an hour. Here's what you're going to do. Whenever my salespeople get a proposal, or they write a presentation up or something, they never get around to getting it out in the mail and then calling the client back efficiently and following up in the next day or two. Because you know, when you get a lead, that lead's hot for the next 24, 48 hours. After that, something else comes up. So we've got to accelerate our sales cycle. Carrie took that job over at $10 an hour, works 30 hours a week. Our sales have gone up 15% since she started. Now, we learned this from one of our biggest heroes of the last century, W. Clement Stone. He was a multi-billionaire in 1920s, and someone asked him one time, are you rich because you're such a brilliant salesman? He goes, no, I'm rich because I hired 25,000 at home, part-time, average salesman. That's why I'm so rich. So we invented a system called Delegation Magic to tap into the millions of people that are sitting out there that only want to work a couple hours a day or a couple hours a week. You know, we've all heard if you want to make more, all you've got to do is sell more, but bottlenecks kill us in our business. So we looked around the office, what's the biggest bottleneck and that keeps everything from working better and faster and cheaper? And it's all tied to paper. So if we could get that paper on a scanner and send it into Delegation Magic, it goes right into your office systems. Matter of fact, it'll even go right into your accounting if you wanted to, so you won't even need to do bookkeeping anymore. It even works if I'm on the road and someone hands me a receipt or a bill of lading. I take a picture with my smartphone, pop right into the system, and that's because when you hire me, you're actually hiring my crew, and we manage all of your workflow in the background. Now, there's a secret to this, so keep listening for just a few more seconds, because this dashboard you see on the screen is actually how we run the business. Everybody that works for me comes in the morning. Everyone that works for me at home logs on at their whenever they desire. They click their name and a list of what they need to do today pops up. If they don't know how to do something, they can just manage it or delegate it to someone else in the business. But this keeps the work off my desk. And it even works for my in-office people. They use it in the office all day long. But if somebody's sick or they have to go home to take care of a sick baby, if something's real critical that has to be done, they just open up the internet-based browser. There's today's work, click on their work, and they can go right to work to do the critical stuff from home. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of how I personally use this to build my businesses. I've got a woman in West Virginia. She does nothing but open up all my email. Now, 90% of it can be deleted. 8% can be delegated to somebody that's on that flow chart of people that work for us. And 2% actually has to go to me. Now, do you know that I save probably 2 hours a day with this? I've got a bunch of people that work all over the country doing sales calls. I send them an email list. Here are the prospects we want to talk to this week, and they call up and see if we can get an appointment, and then they transfer the appointment using the dashboard. They just move the appointment right over to the salesperson, but the salespeople now all work from home. I've got a gal in Wisconsin who does nothing but work for me 4 hours a week calling old customers. And she also sends out birthday cards, but she calls old customers and says, you haven't been around for 90 days. Will you come back in and buy again? Do you know that's good for another 5 to 10% jump in monthly revenue? And then I've got one gal in Georgia who just calls clients and trains them on how to use our service. I've got a gal in Idaho, and I got all these people off Craigslist or by referral, but I got a gal in Idaho who does nothing but post little ads for us. We have a lot of introductory products and services that'll get people into our funnel so we can do more business with them in the future. So she posts ads. I have to pay her $16 an hour, but she posts ads for me everywhere. So we're always generating lots of new referrals. And then, of course, I use college kids to do things like write articles and content for my websites, that sort of thing. We all keep hearing about how that's so important. I've got one that does nothing but all that social media stuff. I don't understand it or know how to do it, but I guess it keeps working. So she's out there constantly posting items and responding to people's inquiries, etc. So from this one dashboard, I'm tapping into labor, inexpensive labor all over the country, micro labor, 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, or 4 hours a day. But the point is I'm getting so much done that no one else is getting done, and my sales keep going through the roof. And I don't lock myself into a lot of high overhead. I mean, the reason that we're not selling more is because we simply aren't getting enough things done. Now, you can't do everything that I'm doing right out of the gate, but what if you just started with 4 easy steps? I'll show you exactly how to do this at our lunch, how going paperless and organizing your accounts payable will save you an average of 8 hours a week in your small business. I mean, it's so amazing how much time we can save by just such simple steps. And I'm going to show you how I generate new sales leads by using at-home dialers or telemarketers on straight commission, and they generate the sales leads for us, or how I get old customers to come back or get the proposals. That's Carrie's job. I'm going to show you exactly how I do Carrie's job. Now, you can access or utilize this document management system because it's in the cloud. You keep hearing that all the time. But this in the cloud lets me work from home or on a job site or while I'm on vacation. And the wonderful thing about having everything in the same place is it automatically builds an email system for me. So when somebody does a job in our office, it records how the job gets done the first time. And then if I've got to let somebody go, I still have how do we do the work. And so I'm not afraid to let people go. And a lot of times we have people working for us 6 months, 2 years, 20 years after we know we should have gotten rid of them. They're still there because we don't know how we're going to get the work done if they leave. Well, our system leaves a track record of exactly how everything gets done, and that's part of the greatest business building plan that you've ever seen that's going to just drive your sales crazy. So you're going to be able to stop these bottlenecks and start focusing on your clients by using delegation magic. And so what I'm going to show you is how to crowdsource management, how to crowdsource all the tasks that run in your business, and how to run your business without paper, how to manage it with the workflow, how to set up an email system, and how all this will lead to a sales system. So I'm hoping that you'll join me for lunch in Tucson coming up. And if you do, I will give you the book that we wrote on how to develop and build a virtual business. This is the exact process. This is my gift just for coming by for lunch on exactly how to build your business without encumbering yourself with a lot of overhead. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. Hope you can join us. And this is Casey Truby. Thank you very much.